The first in the series of the federal government's town hall meetings is ongoing in Lagos State in Nigeria's southwest. The town hall meetings, which has 6 ministers of the federal government in attendance, is meant to explain the policy direction of government as well as get feedback from Nigerians. Those in attendance are the Information Minister Lai Mohammed, that of Power, Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola, the Minister of State for Petroleum Ibe Kachiku, Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyema, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, and the Minister for Transportation Chibike Amechi. Mr. Fashola told the gathering during his presentation that the 5,000 megawatts currently being generated is inadequate to address the nation's power problems.
You will agree that the first railway contract in the modernization policy was awarded by our former President Obasanjo, and that is the railway from Lagos to Kano. The next one was awarded by President Goodluck Jonathan, and that is from Lagos to Calabar. In all these, there were agreements with the Chinese government that will have counterpart funding of 15%. We did not fulfill this agreement. The only place we tried a bit was the Kaduna, Abuja, which is yet to be completed, and we're working extremely hard to ensure that between June and July, we'll commercialize that rail line and to start services. That will reduce the challenges of production, that is to convey goods and services between Kaduna and Abuja.
I'm happy to say a few days ago, for the first time in 7 years, we commissioned the crude supply pipelines, both in Brass, from Brass to Port Harcourt Refinery, and from Escravos to Warri Refinery. The effect of this is absolutely dramatic. We're presently pumping crude through the pipeline to Kaduna, and Kaduna will be back on stream by the end of next week.
I acknowledge also that we are in a results-driven business. And perhaps today, results are measured by, in my ministry, how many roads have been finished, how much power do you have, how much housing can you get. Now, those results are not yet delivered, but I assure you they will be delivered. Now, but some results are becoming evident to us in government, and they may seem intangible to those outside government, and I understand that. And the results of clearly understanding why we are where we are. Should we continue to do what was done in the past if it hasn't solved the problem? Now, ECN, the precursor to NEPA, PHCN, was, I think, inaugurated by ordinance in 1950. So that's 66 years. Why hasn't the problem been solved in 66 years? Why did we inherit it? And so I am looking at some of the things that have been done well, some of the things that could have been done better. But I will summarize the power issue simply in one word. There is not enough power. 5,000 megawatts for 170 million people odd is just not enough. The solution is delivering more power on an incremental and a sustained basis.
Now, other ministers who spoke at the event defended the foreign policies of government and President Buhari's trips on how much the government is working to plug leakages in the system in order to help save up.
The administration has decided to plug all financial loopholes through the Treasury singles account, into which a lot of money has accrued so far. Funds that ordinarily would have gone into private pockets are now finding their ways into the public treasury to be used for the benefit of all of us. Also, over 30,000 ghost workers have been discovered and weeded out, saving the government billions of naira.
At the Investment and Business Forum, we signed, I think, maybe about 7 agreements, and we had at least maybe 10 or 20 other agreements that there was not time to sign during the meeting, some of which we then signed subsequently. China also committed to train hundreds of our people, 600 people new at least, in scholarships. And why that is important, because this is something they emphasized during the trip, is the learning effect, the demonstration effect. You know, Nigerians were quick studies. We learn very fast. I'm excited to know that China has invited Nigerians, because of the trust and the relationship that is building, into their country. We've been going there anyway, but it's getting increasing high-level government endorsement. And you can imagine how much experience and wisdom our country people will bring back. They also committed to 1,000 Nigerians being given technical training on actual specifics in terms of industry and trade, as opposed to just academics. Of course, as some of you may know, there was a $2 billion loan facility that Dangote Cement signed with the ICBC, one of the top banks in China. And then we got over 10 billion. I know that the Minister of Transportation alone, he's receiving over the 10 billion, frankly, as counterpart funding for government infrastructure projects by the Chinese government. And the president has directed us to form committees to make sure we deliver on this. So one thing you can be sure of is that the follow-up is going to be very, 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 very intense. And then, of course, B2B, or what you call business to business, between Chinese businesses and Nigerian businesses, over 6 billion was also signed.
Our foreign policy has to be anchored on that, because those are the priorities of the country. Security, of course, number one. Governance and the economy. So as we have evolved and are developing a foreign policy and engaging with the outside world, we are anchoring it on those three priorities. The trips of Mr. President are not something that are selected on a random basis. They are carefully selected and designed to fit in to the priorities and the objectives of the government.